Hello YouTube, Robin Hood Bricks here, and welcome to part 4 of Manufacturing Mondays, where we're building the ginormous Ball Corporation, a fantastic factory. First of all, a couple of things before we get started. Firstly, I've received a lot of very positive feedback regarding this build already, even though it's only one story off the ground, including a lot of people suggesting I make this my next LEGO ideas submission. So this build will actually have the chance of being made into a real-life set. So I think if we continue progress as we are, and you keep giving me wonderful amendments to improve it and get rid of any issues it might have along the way, then I think we might have a really strong case there for the new year. So yeah, very glad to have that suggestion, and I think we may well go in that direction. So good plan. Then I also had quite a few suggestions. I better get my Bedoing buzzer ready. One was to add a lot more detail to the kind of staff room down here, and to add things like a coffee machine. So I've made a little coffee machine here, and I've done that in the aqua coloured bricks because that's very bright. It's a very simple build, but you're not going to see it too much, and I thought a few more mugs and probably another mug sort of on a table or something like that would be good to make this scene a little bit better. I think we're going to have to move things around a little bit, so thanks for that one. A lot of people suggested I put some sort of hazard stripe in between the staff room and what will be the area where the van or truck is. Now I'm going to use the yellow and black stripes that I use all over my monorail, much higher up, probably on the top floor where that conveyor belt is, because, well, that's a very moving part, so they'll be good there as well. So what I thought I'd do is use these, tread plate stickers. Now these ones are very dark with a very prominent raised element, so I really like those, and I've got 4 of them really, but I only need 3 for that space, and that's from this sticker sheet, which has proved very useful because I may even use these 2 somewhere and this long one as well on the big machine at the top perhaps. They're from 75927 Stigimalock Breakout, goodness knows how you say that, one of those beasties breakout, from 2018. Obviously that's a Jurassic Park set. So I'm going to put those along there. Some other really good suggestions I had were about this area here being very plain. Now I kind of think of that as a cut-off, so that's why I didn't do anything with it. But because this is a facade and would continue on, why not make a feature of this wall? I very much agree with that idea. I think it's great. So what I'm going to do is add a door. Now it's kind of a door to nowhere because in there is just my medium motor. So it's not like, that's going to be a great, interesting place to go. But I think an unopenable door would still look really good. And I actually had this one with these 2 wonderful stickers on with a sort of hazard exclamation mark and a kind of electrics kind of thunderbolt there. And that's from the Prison Island set 60130. From 2016. So with that and this 1x1 brick, I should be able to basically put that in there. So I'll do that in a minute as well. Then I want to incorporate the new barnacle piece I got on my last haul, which is very interesting. And I thought it could be kind of around a tall and colourful pipe piece, kind of acting as some sort of, I don't know, valve or circuit breaker or something like that. And this is a very plain wall, so I think I might have it sort of there on a very colourful pipe. So I'm going to do that. Oh, I missed the bedoing for that. And the bedoing for that. There we go. And then there was one more, which was about this guy, because he was the boss, to give him a white hat, because we decided that red hats were for more physical labourers, and the boss would have a white hat. But then somebody else suggested that I actually have the white hat on the side, so I could just mount it there with a 1x1 round plate. And then I thought I'd give him hair, but instead of hair, I've decided to give him this sort of bald patch, because I think that's really good fun as well. And then he's the old manager guy who keeps all the machines in check from the control room. So I thought that made him an even more fun character for up there. So for all the hat related ones, thanks for that. Cool, right, I'm going to put these in place and then we can get started, probably with the truck before we lose any more access. Right, so here are those in place. There's our coffee machine. So it's a bit more dense, the kind of staff room area with that stripe of tread plate stickers, keeping the 2 apart, with a bit of space still to get in for employees and so on. I'm not going to have a reception, I don't think. I think it will just be for staff only, the whole building, because it'll be a bit of a dangerous place for people just to start wandering in. And then I've got this pipe set up made of all sorts of Technic sort of connector pieces. Should probably turn that one so the slat's not showing. And I've left this computer off just to show that it's going to be held at the top by that Technic axle with a stud on the top. So it'll basically be pinned down by that computer and thus won't wobble at all. And the reason for it, of course, was to put our Bionicle piece on. So let's do that. And that just clips on there. And I think that looks really good. So maybe this is actually an electrical pipe for all of the wires that come out of all of these computer terminals. Perhaps that's it, and that's the isolator switch. Who knows? And I've deliberately done kind of an offshoot there, as if it was something else was able to plug in or something like that. And then the door, which I really like. So simple, but wow, that whole space just looks a lot more interesting now. It is a door with a medium motor inside it. Not very interesting, but it's not really for opening, as just for decoration. So yeah, I mean, already those improvements are great. So this Lego Ideas thing really could work. So next, I think we need to get onto the van or the truck, which will go here. And this is the first thing I'm really going to have to steal from my old setup. I'm going to have to steal the basketball hoop soon as well. And it's unavoidable, really, because I just don't have all the pieces to do this twice, just to keep both of these builds in action. So this was very crudely done. As you'll know from the first two parts, we did everything in rainbow brick. So this is, well, the Vestas truck. You can see that still on both sides. And essentially, the cab bit is unchanged. The middle bit clearly has a hole where the balls come in to load up the truck. There's this secret hatch on the side, which we will tidy up with better bricks and in here. And then we've got the back bit where the illusion is continued that all of these balls are actually ending up inside this truck. And it just never seems to fill up, that's all. So I don't need to do a huge amount to this. Obviously, I need to get rid of the strangely coloured bricks. I'm also even going to make this chute nice and white as well, even though we're really not going to see it, let's face it. But then I wanted to do something quite ambitious on both of the two sides. I wanted to add the GBC branding, or the Ginormous Ball Corporation branding. So what I want to do is do some brick-built initials of G, B, C on both sides. Now, one will be interrupted by this hole, but nonetheless, I think that will look really good. So I'm going to have to do some really intricate studs on the side and all sorts of things to make this look like a decent sort of font of letters. So, wish me luck. Right, so here's our van, and I've just tidied it up to get rid of, well, most of the coloured bricks. That's going to be going in a minute. I've also got the white ramp in, and a very colourful new addition is this sign on the front, which I'm going to be making the logo of the Ginormous Ball Corporation, which is essentially a very simple logo of the four colours of the balls that they make in this factory: blue, red, yellow and white. So obviously they match the actual balls that have been whizzing around in the previous parts of this series. So I think that's really good as well. And another idea actually from one of my subscribers was to have two little tiles here. Well, they said 1 2 by 2, but it's the same sort of thing, to represent kind of the doors of the hatch in the roof that have kind of opened up to allow the balls to be loaded. So thanks very much for that. So that's all great. So now it's only really the sides that need changing, because I haven't changed the back element at all. But it's these two pieces and these, well, 4 pieces here that really need changing for my logo. So what I've done is built a wonderful G in blue to match the blue, a wonderful B in red to match the red, and that'll go there, and then a C in yellow. I can't use white because the van's white, so that is fine. Those are the 3 colours that will be in the letters version of the logo. And then I need just a pillar there to make the 10th brick that is this side, because we've got 4, 4 and 2. So that will replace that whole side. Now, this has been very intricate and quite hard to do and uses loads and loads of little pieces. and we'll barely see it really because it will be like this in the factory itself, so we won't be able to see that side very much. But if we do, and if someone was to close the doors, then they would see that and be quite impressed by it, hopefully. Now, even less visible is the other side. So you could say, nah, don't bother doing that side. But you know me, I'm all for the detail, so I'm going to do that side as well. So we've got the pillar. Then we've got what's left of the G, because that will be going kind of like that with the hole in it, but we really won't see that. So that's fine. So there's the G, and then we've got another B and another C. So that will make up that side as well. And we'll see that even less because we'll be kind of looking obliquely down a passage like this, so we'll only ever be able to see a tiny bit of it. But I'm game, let's do that. So I'm going to put these sides into that and put that into the factory. Okay, and here is our truck. Looking pretty good. So I've seen this on the Digital Designer, of course, but I've never seen it in the flesh, and things always look a bit better, I think, when they're made out of actual bricks, real life conditions and all the rest of it. So there is my kind of clunky, but nice GBC logo in the right colours. And there's the same thing on the other side, but with that hole in it to let the balls through. So I like that a great deal. Now, I can't put this in all as one piece because essentially I'm going to have to take it apart to get the ramp in and in the right place. But what I can do is do kind of a quick push into position to show you what we've done in the greater scheme of things. So that will be, no, one stud that way. There we go. There like that. And you can see what I mean about this logo. Absolutely pointless. You can't see a thing, can you? And it'll be even worse when we've got this door open. I mean, you can see it just a little bit, so maybe in a real life set that wouldn't be there. But this side you can certainly see from the inside, and I think that looks rather good. So I couldn't just do it for one side, could I? Yeah, so that really ties in with all of the colours of the balls. And obviously they all fell out when I did the rebuild, but I've put them back in, hopefully in a colourful order as well. Right, so I need to take that out, put this back in, so it all links up on the inside, and then we can start on the second floor proper. Right, so I've put that roof back on the other side, and it makes that even more impossible to see, but, you know, hey-ho, at least we've got our lovely colourful pipe and door and so on. And you can see I've started building up the red sides of the lift shaft, just continuing that up. And what I want to do on this side is actually link up for strength with the modified 1x14 brick, just to build a little setup like this. And that's just to give a bit of strength to the basketball hoop, because that is the bottom part just before the truck. And I can do that like that. So that's just so it's got a nice bit of strength to it. And people said that this door is going to get in the way, and it will to a degree. I only want it going up to the basketball hoop, and then when the front of the building's on, just the suggestion of there being a garage door in the up position. So I think that is the perfect spot for it. If it does keep falling down, I'll probably block it somehow, maybe with a normal brick here instead of one with a slot in it. But I think it will work for now. It doesn't seem to be wanting to go anywhere. So that's good. So I can tidy up this whole area now, just with some tiles. So that looks nice and tidy. Then I'm going to add a little bit more controls to our man's control room. So I'm just using any old 1x4 panel there really, but this one happens to be from the Downtown Fire Brigade set 60216 from 2019, I think. So that can go there, because we don't really want any studs showing, so why not have that? And then I thought I'd even add another clipboard. He's got one in his hand, but I thought he'd have kind of a stack of them, maybe one for each process. So I thought I'd put another one kind of on one of those jumper tiles, so it would look like he had an absolute stack of clipboards to work through. So I really like that as well. That's from the old car transporter set, by the way. I've got a few of the sticker sheets. I've got quite a few of those to use up. Right, so now we need some more detail on here, but I'm going to have to build the wall up on all sides, and then we can build the outer wall. So the next thing I wanted to have was just another big feature, probably with a sticker on, you know me. So I decided to include a big cylinder with a kind of flammable warning sign on this time. Because I had a lot of these sort of industrial pieces left over from all of those Batman movie sets. And this one's from the 70900, the Joker balloon escape. And I thought that that would just be part of the wall, kind of built in. I'm just going to pin it in place using kind of a brick and plate setup, so it's firmly held in position, and then I can build the rest of the wall around it. But I'm not going to push that down yet because that's going to dovetail with the outer wall, so maybe I'll just leave, say, that section off for now. And then I wanted this to be nice and bright and colourful, so I've just made some pipes coming out of that with one of those kind of Technic connector pieces and a couple of 1x1 round bricks, and they're actually upside down, so they all fit, and they're just a perfect height, so they're going to match the ceiling essentially. So I'm just going to put those in there, and it kind of looks like whatever's in this tank well, goes that way, or maybe it comes from that way, who knows, or maybe it goes down and goes back up. I have absolutely no idea. So here's another section of the lift, the ball lift that's disguised, and I wanted even more computer screens. So here are some that look very process driven. So the top and bottom one are the same, and from that same Joker balloon escape set. And then the next set along in that series, 70901, Mr. Freeze Ice Attack. That provides the other one as well, which has got sort of pie charts and processes on. So that looks very appropriate for here. So I've just mounted those on a 2x6 plate, and I can just add that on there. So now it really does look like a very active control room. I think you'll agree. Then I can continue the bricks around the back, and I've got some more modified bricks there. And then these ones, which I can put on temporarily, I suppose, but I'm going to have to take those off to accommodate the wall in a minute. So there we've got our continued lift shaft going up. Now, to gain access for this, to put the great big chain around at the end, I'm probably going to have to start ripping it apart. I've got no idea, actually. Maybe I should have it in now, just sort of draped out the side. I don't really know. Right, so I've built a little bit more of the sides up, and that's just so I can integrate it with these walls that we just did, because they're joined together for strength. And I get a few questions about whether I pre-build these things and then take them apart just to put them back together again on camera. And I can assure you I don't. There's no sort of fakery here. For example, here are all the plates of all the different colours that are for the remaining part of this entire build. There's all sorts in there. They have not been built together at all. What I do is, just in the interests of speed, make some sub-assemblies, like this column for here, and this column for here, just so we don't take all day with the filming. Now, I've done that one back to front, so there's a good example of some real-life errors. So, put that on there. That goes there. Now, the next bit is the bit that comes out just half a stud to allow for the conveyor. And last time it looked a little wonky, and I think that was just because the wall wasn't secured, but you can see it is perfectly straight. It is a legal building technique and is perfectly right. So we'll just continue that on by putting that on there and attaching it at the top with the modified bricks and the headlight brick combo. And I really like that. I should do that more on other builds, because it really does look like the outside of a chimney breast to me. I think that looks really good. Then I've remade one of my window sort of setups, and that will go there, just like on the other side. Now, if you look at these old mill buildings and factories, they do have a lot of these rather large windows, as we discussed last time, but sometimes when there's a bit of kit behind the wall or whatever the design was for the original building, they don't have one. So you kind of have a patchwork quilt of where they could go, and then you have odd ones missing. So that's definitely going to be the case here. So there's one there, but not one there, or there. And there will be one here, so I can put that one in there. But before I do, I want to show you why I've been putting these modified bricks down here. A lot of people said that there was a kind of a gap through this window that you could see, well, nothing but a blank wall in. And I agree with that, but they were just getting ahead of, of me, because here I've actually got a hole in the floor, you might have noticed as well, and that goes down, and that will continue throughout all the floors, and that's because I wanted to have ladder access. Yes, that's why I bought those ladders on that brick wall, through all the floors. So I'm just going to put that on the modified brick there and push it so it attaches to another one that we did last time that's all the way down there. And there's kind of just enough room for a minifigure to squeeze through. I mean, I'd have to breathe in. I can just get my little finger in there. But I thought that would be something that we could see through all of these windows. So case in point, there we go. And I'll have another ladder with the bottom of which will connect with the top of that one to continue it up the whole height of the building. So yeah, you can't really see that, or maybe you can. It's hard to tell on my little screen. So there we go, there's that. Then another great big setup for in front of the front middle, and that's kind of like that. I've just got a little decorated lip just to sort of tie in with all of the tiling that we've got here as well. And you can see I've already put in space for 2 more windows as well. So we're continuing that dark bluish grey stripe, and we're continuing this grey stripe up here as well with 2 spaces for the windows. Now these are raised slightly, as you can see. The sills will have to be a lot higher just because they're above the garage door, which I don't think we've seen from this angle yet, have we? That looks rather smashing actually. Really like that with the van or truck sticking out. I mean, it's a bit unfortunate because I'm not sure he can open his driver door when it's parked exactly there, but nonetheless, I like it. Yeah, so these windows aren't going to be as tall. Now, that doesn't really matter either. We can just do them with 2 panes high rather than 3 panes high. But more than that, I'm actually going to add a great big sign here for GBC, similar to what's on the side of the truck, but done in a different way, same sort of colour scheme anyway. So I'm going to have these 2 windows bricked in. And what better a brick to use to brick something in than those masonry bricks? So that's going to be the inside view that we will see, and the outside view will be kind of like that, except we've got these modified bricks on the outside, these 4, because they're going to be holding on to our wonderful sign. So I mean, it's going to be quite big and covering up most of that. So really this is for the internal perspective, which I think does look bricked in, because when they change the use of these buildings from one to another, sometimes the quickest way just to fill in a space that they don't need anymore is to fill it with bricks. So there, we've got a kind of an enclosed side now for our second floor. You can creep round the corner to go up the ladder, but there's the great big control room. There's our wonderfully funny basketball hoop, as if they would use that in real life. And I really like these hatches, actually. That was a really good idea. And you can see this shelf looks a lot more realistic now with his hat on and his clipboards and that tank and all the pipes and so on. Yes, I'm really liking that. Okay, so I need to do this bit of wall. And then the really sort of complicated bit above the door, because if you remember last time, all this doorway is offset by half a stud. So you can see half of that plate sort of sticking out from, the tile from the plate. And you can see the lion head is on the half stud as well. So I need to continue that up because we want one of these windows above this door. And then it can continue around normally. Cool, looking good. Wow, it's really starting to grow, isn't it? This is going to look great in dark red when it's finished, I think. Right, so above here, the first thing is to add one of these 2x2s with only 2 studs on, because that will just give us a nice flat surface there. And then I'm going to add kind of another one of these scroll pieces. Somebody said they look like paws for the lion, as in P-A-W-S. And yeah, they kind of do, but then I don't know what these ones are going to be. They'll be more like big ears or something like that. So we put one of those on each side. So they're in the normal stud setup, and these are on the half studs. So to connect everything together now, we want to add another window pane. But this one, instead of having a 2x6 plate on the bottom, it's got 2 2x2s. So the central anti-stud is going to fit on one of the jumper plates on each side, and then the 4 actual studs that are on the half tile, on the half stud rather, will actually connect full blown with the 4 anti-studs on the underside of that. So that might not have made sense, I don't know, but essentially it goes on like that, and then put that back on it's very strong actually, much stronger than all of these actually. So it's in line with all of the others and kind of seamlessly joins up with the floor below. Let's see if I can lift it a little. See what I mean? It's symmetrical with the far side, but joined in with that wonderful lion piece, while still being proud of the wall. So I'm really happy with how that looks. Great. And then to continue around the wall, I've done the lower section just to make it easier for myself. Another one of those windows aligned with the one below. And then we're going to have another bricked-in section here. And that's because we need to add a few features. First of all, we need to add these 3 Technic bricks with the kind of cross on them. And then on the inside, we need to add 2 other Technic bricks with the axle hole kind of in a little bit. And I've done that by mounting them on these inverted slopes. And if we just put this to one side, we can look at our test rig, and you can see that this bit that is supporting our kind of Plinko board is the 3 cross bricks, and the bit with the inverted slopes that's going to be supporting some Technic pinholes is basically the bit that's going to be supporting the pipes, that is the sort of, well, middle section of the whole operation. This is getting very flimsy now. We haven't got things like the basketball hoops. I'm going to be very careful moving this around. But yeah, so you can start to see that we're actually really incorporating those fundamental features of the mechanism into the walls. So it still looks really pretty from the outside, but is very functional on the inside. So that's looking good outside, and it's looking good on the inside. Very nice. Yeah, with the grey still in line with the grey. Looking good. I like it. Right, so now I think we just need to add some details on here. We've got everything we need to add our Plinko board, so we can do that as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to steal more pieces for the Plinko actually. So yeah, we're going to be decimating our original model the further we go, but hey ho. Right, so I've added the drain pipes on the front, and they're secured at the top, and they've also got bars on the inside, so they're nice and strong, and they're looking really good as well. Loving the outside. Also loving the inside, to be honest. So I've added loads of tiles and cheese wedge slopes onto this rail, and they'll support the Plinko board. And I've also added this large red skip, and that's just, I thought, for a quality control process. When they find a bad ball, perhaps they just chuck it in the skip. So I can just get some of my balls, my ginormous balls, and put them in there. Now, I probably won't keep them in there all the time, just because when I'm moving this around, they're going to slosh about, maybe even fall out annoyingly, but I'll leave them in for now, and I'll probably forget and tip them all over my floor. But anyway, there we go. And then we've got a bit of space here, because the Plinko board's pretty much going to run from there down to there. So I thought I'd add some more computer screens, and I thought I could have almost one screen monitoring each colour. So I've got kind of some pieces for a big yellow screen, white, and I can do a red one and a blue one as well. And the stickers I thought I'd put on the front of each of these large slopes are these ones here. They kind of look like scales in a way, like weight scales, but you know, they've got a big dial on and they're that right shape, so I thought it'd be really good. They're from the Shell Razor Street Chase set from 2013, which is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, obviously, 79104. And I bought 2 of these sheets because I like the graffiti and the skateboards and all sorts of things like that. So I'm going to use those and apply them, put those screens in place, probably put an employee working them. There's the column to support the next floor. So that's going to be that. Then I need to get on with making the Plinko board. So I've extracted the old one from the old build, and it's obviously in rainbow brick, but I need these 3 pieces for a start. I'm going to reuse the black Technic bricks, and then I've got yellow Technic support arms for the outside now, and loads of black plates to get rid of the sort of rainbow stuff. So I'll piece all that together, stick it in those holes, and then we should have the last part of the entire mechanism in as well. Okay, so there's the computer screens in place. I think they look pretty good. And 2 more there, 1 for each colour. So we've got this repeating colour theme here, here, on the side of the truck, in the back of the truck, which I think really ties it all together. So that's a nice sort of recurring palette. So then I need to add on my Plinko board, which is just black and yellow now, so I think that looks a bit better than the rainbow brick. And it needs to slot on these 3 Technic pins. So the question is, can I do that with you all watching without destroying everything? It's a bit hard leaning over my camera, kind of having to guess at it to a degree. And I think the answer is a resounding no. Oh, no, I've got it. I nearly gave up. There we go. Hey, that's a snug fit. It's almost like I designed it that way. There we go. And then that one that's double the length just needs one of these on to tie it in with the other ones. There we go. So there's our Plinko board. So the ball will roll down there, ping, 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 into the basketball hoop and load up the truck. And you really can't see the next connection that's in black that's there, really, that links it up with the lift shaft again. So I think this is looking incredibly detailed and incredibly wonderful. But as always, I'm very interested in what you think. Oh, in fact, we need to add a member of staff to this section. I don't think she'll need her drill and crowbar though, so maybe I'll just have her working on these machines and watching the whole process go by. Yeah, I'm going to run out of workmen at this rate. Put those to one side. There we go. Yeah, that's looking really good. Nice and busy, packed and stacked, just the way I like it. And the outside's not looking too shoddy either. I was considering on one of these outside pillars using this sticker from the recent tuning workshop set 60258, just because it was in the dark red. Kind of got a few stickers on. I could put it inside the staff room, but I doubt you'd really notice it there. So, you know, somebody could have just been putting stickers onto a building, advertising, something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I think it will probably split my viewer group. The thing is, if I do put it on one of these 1x2x5s, I can always move the actual brick afterwards because there are loads of them all over the place. One there, one there, one there. Yeah, but maybe let me know what you think about that before I commit to it. But there is our build for today. Do I have time for the sign? That's the next question. Yep, so I don't think we've got time to do the large sign on the front. But that's fine. We've covered quite a lot today. We've done the entire side here, considering all of this up. We've got the front of our wonderful van with its nice little sign on the top there, which I really like. And you can just see the top of that garage door, just the way I planned it. Really good. We've got our bricked up windows that will be behind the sign. Our continued drain pipes, which look really good. I'm really glad I included those. The lion sort of ornate door continues up into the window above. Very good as well. And then we've got a very interesting wall here. And I almost think these 3 Technic pins actually add to it. It's almost like something got riveted onto the outside a long time ago and is still there. And then on the inside, well, we've improved the downstairs. We've added a door here. We've added our wonderful new Bionicle piece on there. We've done the van with its beautiful side that you can barely see in there. And then the whole floor up here, finishing off the control room that's open to the rest of the factory, the basketball hoop and its sort of securing bracket, the Plinko board bit, and this extra quality control room with skip. So I'm really happy with that. And there's the balls rolling around in there. Wow, I think that's quite a lot. And I think it looks absolutely brilliant. Roll on Lego ideas. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe for more awesome Lego videos. Also, do comment with any suggestions for improvements or amendments, as usual. And if you value this channel, there are many ways in which you can support it. Just check out the description below for all of the relevant links. And next time on Robin Hood Bricks, we'll be doing a brick haul because it'll be Wednesday. And then on Friday, we'll be up in the Lego room doing something interesting to the city. And I have not decided what yet. See you then.